Hey folks, today we thought it'd be a good idea that we're down here on the homestead, made a trip down here today to talk about who we are and kind of what brought us to this place to make the decision to buy a homestead and build a homestead, because we're building it from the ground up. As you can see around here, there's nothing here. We're about 30 miles from the nearest store. There's a dollar store about 30 minutes from here. So, who we are. We've been married for 23 blissful years. Blissful for me, maybe not for her. Probably took me 10 years to figure out what I was supposed to be as a husband. But anyway, I kind of grew up, I was a missionary's kid, so I kind of grew up moving around a whole lot, and I read a lot. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of westerns and a lot of homesteading, pioneering type stuff. And that was always really a passion of mine. And then when we got married, I had a small farm. It was my dad's farm, but I was working it. I had cows and pigs and horses. We had a little bit of everything when we got married. And she grew up taking care of livestock. I can tell a little bit about that, just how you grew up. And
Well, I grew up on the Navajo reservation. We had running water, but no electricity. I don't know what to say.
your family grew crops every year.
Yeah, we planted every year on our family farm. Harvested, gave away vegetables, and sold some
Melons.
melons and corn.
Your grandma had livestock, cows and sheep.
Yeah, my grandma had cows. My dad had some sheep one time.
So we kind of grew up with a subsistence lifestyle, or you could call it a hand-to-mouth lifestyle. Sometimes I never really. We planted a lot when I was growing up. We planted a garden and we butchered our own meat, and we fished and hunted, and that's kind of how she grew up. They butchered their own sheep. They grew a lot of their own food. And on the desert, we moved out here on the desert. It's a lot harder, but kind of what drove us to this point was we were living in Tennessee with a 30-year mortgage, and we were working 6 days a week. Not just me and her, but the kids. Ann and George were working, and we weren't getting ahead. I mean, we had money. We always had access to money, but we were in debt. We were borrowing more money every year to just make ends meet with our business. We built fences and barns, and it just got to the point to where I was tired of it. I was physically tired. I think since we moved out here, my health has improved a whole lot, just because I don't have the stress that I had. When you own your own business, there's a lot of stress involved. Trying to meet demands of customers and trying to take and just get things done, and it was stressful on our marriage too. There was tension there. Wouldn't you say? We had some tension because we worked together. Anybody knows who worked with your spouse?
How many years we were together?
Almost 20 years.
19.
Anna's 19, so probably 18 years we worked together, side by side, in livestock and training horses and building fences and building barns. And so it put a lot of stress on us. And I just got tired of it, and I started looking into, owning a piece of property. And where we were in Tennessee, it was just not feasible. All the land was just too high. You couldn't do it and live. And back there, the humidity, even today, right now, it's probably 90 degrees there with 90% humidity, and that's just torture. It was hard on us working in it. It wiped us out every day. And so we decided she wanted to come home because her family's from out here. And so we started looking around, and we actually seen this piece of property 3 years ago. And I really fell in love with it just looking at it online. And the opportunity came up. If you have a chance, go over and check out Eric at landopia.com and check out his website. That's where we found this property. And he put it up for sale fairly cheap, and we jumped at it because I'd been in love with it for 3 years. And we bought it sight unseen. My wife thought I was crazy. She goes, "You gonna buy it and not even look at it?" So we drove out here, what, a month? We owned it for a month and had never seen it up close. Didn't even know how to get here. But I was stressed out. We were never ahead on money. So we sold everything, got rid of everything. We moved out here, as some of you have seen in some of our vlogs. If you haven't, go back and check it out. We moved out here in a 26-foot U-Haul truck, pulling a horse trailer. And on the way out here, our Dodge Durango died, and we left it in Arkansas. And that whole journey to where we are now. But the reason we did it, we just had to come to a place to say, if we don't do it now, it's not going to happen. That's what she kept telling me. She said, "I feel like if we don't do it now, it's not going to happen." You remember saying that in Tennessee? You don't remember saying that? We were living in Tennessee, and I was working for a company there, and we had moved from our small 2 acres. We had 2 acres where we grew vegetables and raised pigs. We raised a lot of pork there, and we raised vegetables, and we did it out of necessity because it started raining it rained for like 6 months and really messed up our business. We weren't able to do work, and by the time we were able to do work, we couldn't afford to do work because we were so far behind on our bills. We didn't have money to survive. So we kind of lived off our garden and lived off the meat that we had put by, and that's why we moved. I took that job with that company, and I just got to the point we got some money together. We said we're leaving. We took off, and people thought we were crazy, and they probably still think we're crazy trying to homestead out here in the desert. But it's been a really good year this year. It's really green out here. There's a lot of grass. Sheep do well in this climate, which is something we want to do. I've always wanted to take and raise some Katahdin or Polypay sheep. The money side of it, the economic side of it, was we weren't getting ahead. We were never going to get out of it. I was going to have to work till I was like 80 to pay off the house we were in the 2 acres. And the work that I was doing was killing me. My body, I've had a lot of injuries over the years, and it took a toll on my body. Just every day, we worked from daylight till dark every day, 6 days a week, and it just took a toll on my body. And then the stress on top of that. So my health was really declining, and the stress between us, the tension between us working together, and we never really did fight, but there was always just tension because she wanted to do it one way and I wanted to do it this way. And when you're together all the time, things tend to get stressful. The health side of it, when you live off the land, when you grow your own food, when you grow your own meat, when you hunt, when you fish, it's a whole lot healthier. And she's got health issues. She hasn't had an episode here in a long time. She has allergies, real bad food allergies. And tomatoes is one thing that she's really allergic to. But she goes into anaphylactic shock. And we've almost lost her 2 or 3 times. We've had to rush her to the hospital. The very first time it happened, it was out of the blue. She just developed it. When we eat fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, not processed food, out there today, there's just tons of processed food. And that's what people live on. That's what they survive on. And when you eat fresh fruits and vegetables, you don't have near the reactions, do you? No. And it's scary for me when you have an episode, because I can't do anything to help her. I can give her EpiPen. That's about it. But when we live off the land and we live off the stuff that we raise, that doesn't. No, it's not an issue. She still has to take medication. She has to take it every night, because if she doesn't, she may wake up having an allergic reaction from something she ate, from something somebody touched her. Give her a hug. One time at a funeral, somebody give her a hug, and the perfume that they had on them caused her to have an allergic reaction. So it's a real scary deal, and that's one of the reasons we want to move back to the land, get more exercise out here. When you live in a small area surrounded by a bunch of people, we could say, oh yeah, we don't take enough effort to go exercise or take enough effort to go walk. And we sometimes do. We'll get out and we'll walk. But it's harder. When you're on your land, you're moving around, you're doing stuff.
More comfortable.
You're more comfortable, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's another reason why we're here. I don't want to be 60, 65 years old and still trying to pay a mortgage. This place here is going to be paid for shortly. The other bills that we have are going to be paid for shortly, and we're going to be building our house, and we're going to do it debt free. We're going to have to camp out, and it's going to be some sacrifices. It's not going to be easy. We know we lived for 5 years off grid when Anna was a baby. We lived on the desert. We were a little bit closer to amenities. I mean, we had water that readily available and stuff like that. But I don't know about you, but for me, that was one of the best times of our life. It was a simpler life, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We lived in a 16 by 20 cabin, and we had propane heat and 12-volt lights. You know, there was stores within driving distance. I mean, 4 or 5 miles, but it was just a simpler lifestyle. We didn't have any bills.
Yeah.
No bills when we were there. It was easier living. That's what we want to get back to. We want to get back to a simpler life and get back connected to the land. And I think, too, as a survival thing, we're going to have to. People say that, oh, it's never going to happen again, but things are not going to get bad. But it's happened everywhere around the world, and it's happened here before in the Great Depression. And if you can take and go out, kill something, drag it home and eat it, if you have those skills, then you're going to be able to survive. And I think that there's more and more people finding out that they need to get disconnected and unplugged from the system and learn how to survive on their own. That's another reason that we're here while we're doing this, because I don't want to wait until it's too late and then we don't have the opportunity to get out here. That, my family, I mean, my kids are just about grown up, and I want them to have a place. I want to leave a legacy for them. Once we get it built, when we're gone, then the kids will have a place. If it doesn't happen in my time, it may happen in their time, and we want to be prepared. So we want them to be prepared. I want them to learn the skills of survival and subsistence lifestyle. You have anything to add? What does moving out here, what does it mean to you?
Having my own house, no mortgage.
Free mortgage. Right now we have to choose between, well, are we going to buy this, or are we going to buy groceries? Are we going to take and buy a new pair of shoes, or are we going to buy, and that's the way our life's been. She's never got to shop. She's never got to go, maybe once a year, she go get to shop and buy what she wants. And even to this day, she'll get to the checkout line and, oh, I'll just go put this back. Or she'll get home with it. She did that to me this week. She had some stuff, and we were making a financial decision. She goes, well, I'll just take it back. The shirt she's wearing right now. I'll just go take it back. I'll get my money back. And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of my wife having to make decisions like that and thinking like that. It's not just, it's a mindset. It's not just, she didn't have to, obviously, but that's her mindset because we've had to do it for so long. So I want her, particularly in our latter years, I want her to be able to, if she wants to go to town, she wants to go to the mall and buy a shirt, that it's not weighing on her mind that she has to take it back, or that she may have to take it back, because it's not that she had to. That's her mindset, and that's not a good mindset to have. That's kind of who we are, and just in a short glimpse at why we're doing what we're doing and how we got here. So this is our journey. This is where we're headed, and it may be a year or two down the road before we see it to fruition, but we're started. We're on the road. Remember to like, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. Hit that like button if you like what you're seeing. Share us. If you know somebody that's going through the same kind of struggle and looking for a way out, you have to make that first jump. You have to make that first step. But for us, it was a doozy. It was a doozy. But we're here, and we're doing it. Every day I get up, I have to remind myself we're actually doing it. We want to thank y'all for stopping by. we'll see you down the road.